We saw Brandon take some kicks. Was there talk about having the juggling machine kick if there wasn't a player available? Or was
we wouldn't have worked field goal with the jugs. No, hey, listen. The thing I found out as a young coach in this league is it's totally, after spending 16 years in college, you had 3 kickers, 3 punters, all that. Obviously, with the restrictions on game day roster, you have to have a contingency, and we've seen it happen in other games across the league. I remember Houston's the one that sticks out a couple years ago. They had a running back kick a field goal in a game, and so we have to have a contingency for everything. So just obviously with Will being in Canton, it was a perfect opportunity to get Brandon a couple kicks, and he did a great job.
Brandon Jones is the backup then?
We have a couple different options. The interesting thing with these Australian guys, which I've had a few of, is a lot of them have never place kicked. They've only punted, and so they've drop kicked before, but not snap hold kick. People wouldn't think it's that big of a deal. It is if you haven't done it. A lot of the American punters have at least somewhere along the lines. Most of the majority of them have done it, but a lot of the Australian guys have not. So we have a back contingency for all that: snapper, holder, kicker, punter. And so Brandon's just one of the options. It was he did it in a couple practices last year. I don't know if we had this the fan base here and you guys, but he had kicked a couple before. So again, just getting a couple. We'll do the same thing with the snapper, with the holder. We'll do the contingencies all throughout.
Well, how is Crawshad kicking?
He's not a kicker. He's a punter. He's not a kicker. If we have, he can drop kick, believe it or not. So he could kick off, believe it or not, from the 35 down to he could get it that far. But with the drop kicks, obviously sometimes the accuracy isn't there. But he can launch the ball in a drop kick, but not. Those guys are a little bit awkward off the tee. I know it's again not something you would think about, but
well, Flutie did it.
Yeah, he did. Exactly right. It's exactly right. So we've practiced that too. We've practiced a direct snap. With all these Australian guys that I've had over the years, we've practiced that as well. So direct snap to the kicker and drop kick it through is another option. You got to remember the timing aspect of it too. You got to get that down. Get that worked out. So, and then we can always go for 2.
With the returners, obviously, you know what you're getting with Marvin, but
yeah.
What have you seen from some of these younger guys too in the event you need somebody else?
Yeah, listen, that was a big focus. I think I mentioned this before in the draft process and in the free agency process as well with the undrafted guys, was guys that had returner value. I think we've kind of answered that with some of the 90-man, and now it's really just getting in the games and seeing what some of these guys can do. Sean Fresh is a guy that did really well in the UFL. He's also an option. Cam Ross is a guy. Colby Katz is a guy. All these guys have had some experience. So they're going to get plenty of work here. I think you hit the nail on the head. We kind of know what some of the veteran guys that have been here can do. We're going to get a lot of these younger guys that haven't been in the game situations in the NFL, some work here. So you're going to see a lot of those bodies out there in these 3 preseason games.
With Jeremy, how is he coming along as a punter, specifically the direction aspect?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I don't know how much you guys noticed today. He had a great day today. I thought we worked some of the corner kicks going to the right and obviously some of the going ins. I thought his last 2 times out here in practice, he's been real good. I think those are his 2 best days he's put together. Started off a little bit inconsistent, but these last 2 days. So hopefully that carries over next Friday. It's crazy. We only have 2 punting sessions and 2 kicking sessions before the game next week. So, it's coming, right? We're leaving on Thursday. So, again, for the specialists, I think the preseason is a little bit different than a position player. I think you get more out of the specialist position, meaning, the game-like atmosphere. And so those 3 games for those guys, for Will and for him and for the snappers, will be a good deal.
How much do you stress to some of these young guys, maybe your ticket to making the 53 is how you doing special teams, or maybe even making the practice squad versus not?
Yeah, listen, I think you look at our roster, making our 53-man roster, for the majority of these younger guys, they're going to have to show something here in these games on special teams as core players. I don't think that's a big secret. Obviously, you see we're top-heavy with our roster, but these bottom spots are going to be big time. These battles going on at certain positions are going to come down to, and I know Sean has said it, going to come down to how these guys perform. So these 3 games are big for a lot of those guys.
Coach, you've been to a lot of practices with Sean Payton leading. What was it like these past 2 days not having him here?
I think it's a credit to Sean. This thing's a well-oiled machine. I think it was the same way in New Orleans. There's a couple times he missed, for different reasons. Listen, I think you have a lot of coaches out here with a lot of experience. We all know exactly what Sean wants. The players know exactly what Sean wants. They know what he expects. I think Vance did a great job these last couple days, but I think it's a credit to Sean. Everyone kind of just we're going. It's like the old time to make the donuts commercial. Like the old Dunkin' Donut. Like everybody comes into work, we know exactly what we have to do. Everyone knows their role. Everybody's the head coach of their certain area, and I think how smooth these last couple days have gone are not only a credit to Vance, but they're a big credit to Sean and how he operates the organization.
Riz, going back to talking about the roster being top heavy and pretty well set. Does it feel like maybe a little more than previous years, whether here or other places, special teams and your input is going to matter maybe more in roster construction?
Yeah.
What you're going to need?
Yeah. Listen, it's a fair question. I think there's a few positions that we're looking at that the core teamers are going to be, it's going to be kind of their ticket onto the team, as was mentioned. And so I think there may, some positions up more than others. But some of these younger guys, and again, I think George and his staff did a great job in the draft process of targeting guys that could potentially come in and be core players. So, these next 3 games, Vance just said it when we broke down. This Friday coming up, some of these rookies, it'll be the biggest game they ever play in their career, because it could be decide whether or not they make this team or not. So
Evaluate how Brandon Jones did.
I'm sorry.
How Brandon Jones did kick it.
How did he do today?
Yeah.
Well, he went 3 for 4. So, no, I think the first couple of the operation time was a little slow. The ball, he's got a real natural rotation. I think he's got a soccer background. The ball rotation was really good. I thought the third and the fourth kick, the operation time was more realistic. I think the first couple he was kind of feeling his way. But we were anywhere between 33 and 39 yards there, and so that's what you want to do. You just want to know in a game if we get down in the red zone and we need an extra point or we need a short field goal, what are your options going to be? So is that option better than going for 2? I was joking around before, but do we get a better chance of kicking a PAT with a backup kicker or going for 2 analytically? So but all those spots, punter, like I said, punter will do at one point. Will can punt, by the way. He has punted before, and then the snappers and the holders. So all those guys will get work as we go.
What would you do? Go for 2 or kick it?
Me? Ask me about 2 weeks.